Hello everybody, how's it going? How are we all doing? It's another WIP Wednesday and all the gang is here, I can see. Let me just sort of shuggle things about a wee bit here. I need to move my mouse around. Move you around a little bit. Oh, there we go. It's a gem, yes it is. Hello Jan, nice to see you. We've got Patty and Martine as well. Hello Martine, how are you? I feel as if I haven't spoken to you for ages. Cal's here as well. Would love to know how the craft room's going, Cal. And we've got a Theosaurus. Yay! Lovely to see you all. Nice to have the gang all here. It's a gem. Yes it is. Well, what a day it has been. I did my hair myself today, guys. I do have, you'll see when we go to the top down camera, I've still got a slight blue tinge under my nails and it looks a bit kind of, I just kind of forgot and took my glove off and then, anyway, it's fine. But it's turned out okay for a DIY job. And yeah, fairly happy with it. It's probably only going to last as long as the getting it done in the salon, but obviously it's a bajillion times cheaper doing it at home. I had to get 2 tubes because I didn't know how much colour I was going to use because they've changed the packaging since I did it myself last time. That was quite a long time ago. So I bought 2 tubes, but I ended up only using 1, so that was really good. I was really happy about it. No art club today, Martin. Aha. The random cardboard is in the recycling and the rubbish is sorted, so now I just have to go and sort my various craft supplies into their areas. That's like one of my favourite things to do. Like, I love that. That sounds like a good afternoon stroke next couple of days. I'm assuming that you won't be trying to tackle it all at once. Was my arm okay doing that? Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I was nice and warm in the bathroom. But mostly I'm at like this angle, so that's not particularly uncomfortable. Thanks for asking though, Jan. Definitely not. Okay, Cal. Oh, okay. Beverage of choice today. As some of you know, I have been doing dry January. I am still dry. And on a Wednesday when we do the live streams, I'm just having like a treat and something that I maybe wouldn't normally drink. I don't drink a lot of fizzy juice, for example. But today's very special. I have not only a bottle of Iron Brew, which is Scotland's second national drink. I have a glass bottle, which is the way it should be, but this is Iron Brew 1901. This is the original recipe Iron Brew, and as far as I'm concerned, it's the only acceptable form of Iron Brew. Here in the UK, we have sugar tax now, so they changed all the recipes for all the fizzy drinks to reduce the sugar so that they weren't more expensive, even though they are more expensive anyway now. This is the undoctored version. This is the Iron Brew of my childhood, and it's the only one I will drink. I don't drink it very often, but I got myself a bottle last night, so I thought I'll just tuck into that, finish it, polish it off. My favourite thing about this is on the label it says old and unimproved. Just a little bit of humour for you, and I think to myself, oh, it's a bit like me. So that is my beverage of choice today. Ah, yes. Hi Dee, how are you? Oh, nice to see you. Oh, yay, this is good. So yes, so I've had quite a busy wee day so far. Mr. Jem's away visiting his parents, so I'm here by myself. So I did quite a lot of housework today. Just got the place kind of, sensible again, because I really have been sloping about like a teenage boy for the past couple of days. I'm like, yeah, I'll get that later. So I've kind of sorted myself back out again, which is pretty good. Been working away on a video, so there will be a video up this weekend for you all to enjoy. Hi Mary, how's it going? An Amazon delivery. Ooh. Oh, I would love to show you my latest purchase. I shall return. Oh, geez, I nearly ended up into the computer there. Oh, you're gonna like this one. So there's a bit of a story behind this. For the folks that are on the Discord, they will know that I opened up my Gouache palette the other day, and I opened it up to a sea of mould. Hi Europa, how are you? I was a bit unimpressed, honestly. And I have tried to rescue as much of it as I can. There were areas that were untouched and were dry. Obviously the whole point of the Humi palette is that the paint isn't dry, but it reconstitutes pretty well. Anyway, so I was basically just looking for something more portable, where I could keep gouache all in one place. But the Humi palette, it's the smaller one I've got that's got the twin pots in each hole. So it's still big and bulky, and I wouldn't really want to travel any distance with it. So I was having a wee peruse on Jackson's art, and so then basically this happened. I found this vintage style Schminke palette, and they've done the box and everything in the old style. I think it's like 1930s or something, don't quote me on that. And the reason I really liked it was because it has space for tubes. And obviously with gouache, that's what we like to do. There's loads of mixing wells as well. So this came with Schminke watercolour paints in it, which I've got here. So little set of 6, the little dinky tubes. So basically I've just switched those out for some Holbein gouache here, and I'm going to get a green to go in there because obviously I've got primaries black and white. But this is just perfect. Absolutely perfecto. So I'm really pleased with it. Like, I'm so happy right now. And it's obviously very pretty, and it's got the sort of vintage Schminke label on it. So yeah, I'm really happy. That's perfect if I don't want to like pull everything out. This all stemmed from I sat and sorted through my gouache tubes. I have no fewer than 80 tubes of gouache, as in 80. It's outrageous. So I wanted to kind of like do something a bit more compact, just for when I've only maybe got like half an hour or something, because my time is precious. It's also got half pans here as well, so if there's colours that I'd maybe pre-mixed, or maybe a favourite colour, I could just splodge a wee bit in. Most of the better quality gouache, even if they dry out, they reconstitute quite well as long as you give it a good mix. Sometimes you lose some of the opacity, but that's the sort of trade-off. Oh, so yeah, there we go. So what I am going to do is the words gem, the Schminke watercolour tubes that came in here. I'm going to put these in the stash shop. So if anybody would like some really good quality watercolour at a fairly reduced price, what I'll probably do is I'll stick these on when the video goes up at the weekend. So that will be like a double reminder for anybody that might want to pick these up. But they're so cute. They're only 5mm tubes, but we've got quite a nice range of colours here as well. So that might just do someone. Maybe you're used to sort of student grade watercolour and you'd like to try something a little bit more upmarket. So yeah, I'll pop those in the stash shop. If anybody wants to grab them, they can feel free. But yeah, this is probably my last. I was going to say needless purchase. It's not needless, but it's definitely not an essential. Let's put it that way. But yeah, I'm really pleased with that. Patty's looking forward to finding her lost craft supplies when you change the bedroom into a craft room. That's going to be fun, Patty. You're going to find stuff that you didn't know you had. Hi, Ulrika. When did you sneak in? Just back a bit. Yeah, you've only been in a minute. Hello. Everything is lost in a closet at the moment. Yeah, that'll happen. Okay, so yeah, we're just past 3. I don't know if you want to see my face or not, but here I am. I'll just have a little swig of my 1901. The problem with this is I'm going to be bouncing off the walls in about an hour because it is. Let's just see. 11 grams of sugar per 100 mils, so basically it's 10% sugar, pure sugar. That sounds fun. In the absence of alcohol, that sounds fun. Okay, so for the first hour, this really stuck with me last week when we were discussing what we were going to do in terms of our next like colouring series. And there was so many comments and, people saying that they've got this book and they've hardly done anything in it. And I am that person as well. So I just thought it would be nice to come in here and maybe give Small Victories a wee bit of love for an hour. And I want to go to the page that had all the little trucks in it. There we go, this one. Oh, I might have to get a clip for... is that going to pop open? That's how unused this is. Like, the spine's still pretty rigid. Hi, Susan. How you doing? Have you got a dreich day as well? It's absolutely rubbish down here. I don't know if it's any better a wee bit further up the road. Very grey. So pencil wise, I decided to get the Prismacolors out because I'm just feeling in like a kind of fun, playful mood, and I feel like they're fun, playful pencils. So I was trying to figure out, I was kind of squinting at this earlier, and I was trying to figure out, I've got hair dye on my arm. I thought I'd washed everything off. Oh no. Oh dear. Yeah, I was trying to sort of have a bit of a squint at this earlier and figure out what colour it was I'd used. I've got no idea, but we'll just make it up as we go along. It was obviously pink of some description, but I feel like that should maybe be our starting point. I'm just going to grab my wee Gouache sharpener as well. Keep that handy. It's needing an empty. Goodness me, I'm super organised today, honest. Oh. Let's give this a wee empty out. Oh, it's all stuck. To like have a dig about. There we go. That's better. Okay. Thea had a flip through the book. Oh, zero inspiration. That's funny. Don't worry. Maybe you'll be inspired after today. It's grey in Glasgow as well. No better here, grey and damp. Yep, that's it. Proper Scotland weather for you. Okay. Oh, damp, soggy and a bit windy in Wales. Oh no. Oh no. Right. I think the process not read is calling to me. It's just like it's sitting in the case there and it's winking at me. So when I'm using Prismacolors, I always use go for a number 3 point, so like a midway from a big long pointy point and a wee fat stubby point. I'm assuming that this would have been maybe hot pink. If it wasn't hot pink, we can make it hot. It wasn't hot pink. Right, we're going to make it hot pink. That's where we're going to go with it. And I'm going to use this for slightly darker bits and bobs. So let's zoom in, maybe about there-ish, give or take. And that's really annoying me now. Just call it out of the corner of my eye again. So let's think about where we might want some more. I feel like I want to put something under that so that the page isn't bobbing about. Hang on a minute. Yeah, this is actually, I'm just grabbing this because it's to hand. This was the reason that I was sloping about on Jackson's art. I needed this pastel mat for a commission I'm doing, because I'm going to go in like a dark blue. So, but that's just handy. Right, that's better. That feels better. Okay. So pastel mat was the reason I was there, and the paints happened kind of not by accident. So I think I'm going to embrace the smooshiness here just because I can. I don't know whether I want maybe, you know, as if the flowers are kind of like popping up off the, you like a 3D effect rather than them being like a vinyl sticker or something. Let's do a little bit just because we can. Why not? Yeah, when I was getting ready for the stream as well, I was like, I don't actually have any WIPs at the moment. The stuff that I was working on was all done, so and I don't like to show, if I'm doing commissions, that's something I will never show on the channel because I want the person that's bought the commission to see it first. So yeah. Hi Mona. Thea's winning against Canada and where it is colder. Y'all can keep it. Yeah, Ulrika. Ah, that's funny. Yes, I win. Yeah, to be fair, I would take the uber cold over ridiculous hot. But see, then again, I'm Scottish. I'm not really built for hot weather. The screens are sharpened as well. Definitely rather be cold. Very mild here though, although it's grey and damp, and the dampness does, like, it kind of seeps into your bones. It's not a dry cold. But I think today here it's about +5. we've had our frosty mornings and whatnot, but it's been a lot milder. But then again, it has been very rainy, and when that happens, that tends to be the the temperature goes up a bit. So I'll take it. I really seem to have seemed to have taken my time with this, and made it quite sort of vibrant. So we'll do the same here. So we'll go for quite heavy layers. I'm like medium pressure here and do 2 layers, and that's going to give us that really nice bright popping out pink. The worst cold days are the bright sunny ones. When it's super sunny out, it's probably -30. And see, that's my favourite kind of cold day here, because obviously it's not -30 here when it happens. It's like -4 or 5, which is very pleasant. We do like that. We're into that. This is such a pretty shade of pink. I'm not really into pinks, but I kind of like this one. What was this one again? Hot pink, yeah. It's kind of nice. Kind of like it. So I was starting to look at, obviously like a Wednesday is normally cave day, like that's when I do a lot of the boring stuff, the paperwork and the planning and everything. And I was having a look at what dates we would do live streams in February and whatnot, and make a little plan for some videos. So I've got 2 videos that I'm going to make a start on. And then after that, I'm not entirely sure. So I've got a list somewhere. I don't actually know where it is, to be perfectly honest. I do have a list somewhere of video ideas that sort of kept popping up, but I was kind of contemplating. I don't know if I'm quite ready to do it or not. I did promise Thea that I would go back to the Thomas Kincaid's Disney book. I might make a video out of that, but that's one of those ones where I can't film it like all in one day, because if I start something in there, it's gonna have to be done over several sessions, because there's a lot of work involved in those pages. But I was kind of contemplating pulling the trigger on that, so I don't know. I think I might have to ruminate a bit longer before I make any decisions, because that's almost like a life-changing decision. It's like a commitment. Thea's like, oh yay. Again, I was just, when I was sorting out those tubes of gouache, I was like, well, there's really not any excuse. Like, there isn't a conceivable colour that I don't have. The reason that I do have a lot of them is because they don't get used, because I just tend to like mix my own colours. Like, oh, fling a bit of that in there and see what happens. And then I'm like, oh, pretty. So there's a lot of kind of more exotic colours. So I kind of want to make a concerted effort to try and use those a bit more. So I don't know. We'll see. Whether or not they will be required in Thomas Kincaid's another matter, right enough. But we can try. I do have quite a lot of someone mentioned the Arteza gouache earlier. I do have quite a lot of tubes of that Arteza gouache. And see, for the price of it, I think it's really good. I mean, I've always found it quite agreeable. There's some brands of gouache that I just don't seem to get on with. And I don't think it's like an ability thing or a snobbery thing or anything like that. I think it's just, it doesn't vibe with the way that I paint, maybe. But the Arteza gouache, I'm actually quite into it, because I just kind of mix and match, like especially colours like black. I've got 3 tubes of black, I know that from sorting out, and I just kind of grab whichever one comes first, if you know what I mean. And sometimes that's the Arteza one, and it plays very nicely with the other gouache tubes as well. I'm mostly Winsor & Newton and Arteza. They're the ones that that I've got the most of. So yeah, I use them fairly frequently, but see, there's more exotic colours that I haven't really done anything with. the Schminke gouache starter set, yellow, red, blue, black, white. Yeah. It's good. I've only got 1 or 2 tubes of the Schminke gouache. They're really big though, the tubes. Because I get mixed up between the Schminke and the Holbein ones, but it's the Schminke ones that you get them in like big ones. So I've got 1 or 2 of those. One is green, unsurprisingly. I bet you're all really shocked by that. And I've got white and something else. But the Schminke gouache is amazing, by the way. It's super good. That and the Holbein gouache I really like as well. But they are more expensive, but you get what you pay for. Jock's scratching me. He's really itchy today. He's had some medication, but I think because his skin's bothering him, he's not settling, like he's pacing about a lot, and I think he's just bothered. Hi, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you. Are you okay? Or did you just come to see me? Okay. A good boy. A good way to, like an easy way to tell how much his skin's bothering is if his eyes are watering. Like if his eyes are really runny, then I know he's really struggling. But his eyes are quite dry. Like he's not bad. You're just a big bag of allergies, aren't you? Yeah. You are. I know. Look at this boy. Oh. That's it. Okay. Right, got things to do now. If he settles down, I'll maybe get the jock cam up for the second half, but for the time being, he's just padding about. Okay, a little bit more colour down there. There we go. Do you see my fingernails? Like this is all just... Oh. That hand's worse though. Like that's my natural nail colour there. This is not my natural nail colour. It makes my nails look really grotty as well. Thea's got very cheap gouache, never got on with it. I think that I kind of feel differently about gouache than I do other art supplies. If you start with gouache and you get a cheap set that aren't very good, you're kind of beat before you start, I feel, because so much of it is about finding consistencies and working out how much water to add, if any. And it could as a beginner, it can be really off-putting. And the difference in price between the really cheap ones and kind of like the mid-price ones, like the Winsor & Newton ones, the series 1, maybe series 2 of the Winsor & Newton ones, it's worth paying that little bit extra, like it really is. But with the Schminke and the Holbein, you're like, oh okay, this is how gouache is supposed to feel. The awkward artful tubes, yeah, I wasn't really a fan of the tubes. Liked the paint, didn't like the tubes. My favourite white is the Talons gouache. Fortunately for my bank balance, gouache and acrylics have never been my thing. Acrylic paint's really cheap. It's super cheap. Do you know it's something, I don't know why I don't use acrylic paint more. I just don't. I don't really have a reason for it. If I'm painting, gouache is definitely my first choice. Like gouache is my go-to, but I like a wee bit of watercolour as well. But gouache would always be my first choice. I think it suits my art style a bit better than watercolour as well, because when I'm painting, I'm mostly doing like illustrative things. So gouache is right up my street for that. Right, I don't know what colour we should put with the pink. Maybe feeling a little bit of like a minty colour. Let's grab the pale green here. I'm just gonna have to sharpen as I go. Oh. I thought you were going to tell me that you've fallen over, Jan. April's got the Art Creations gouache. Oh, see, I really didn't like it. That's the brand that springs to mind when I'm saying about being frustrated. It's just not quite there. like it's just, I found that there was a lot of inconsistencies in like mixing ability with water between the colours as well. Right, okay, let's see. Oh yeah, this was a good choice. So minty. Mary's definitely a watercolour gal. Which is interesting, Thea, because given your hand situation, painting is a lot kinder on your hand than pencils are. Like, pencils are hard on sore hands. But to each their own. I mean, I'll always be a pencil monster. I'll never not be a pencil monster. But when it comes to paint... as if. I feel like a wee gradient coming on here. Whoa. Just a little one. This is one of the things I love about these Prismacolor pencils. It's so easy to do this. So easy. I'll just go back over that. Give it a smoosh. Like so. So for those of you who paint in acrylic then, I'm quite curious to know what your preferred brands are for acrylic paint. Thea hates the texture of coloured pencil over watercolour. Does that not depend on the paper though? Full advocate for fat paintbrushes, definitely. Why do I always get a phone call during your lives? I don't know. That's so cute. Like I'm really into that. That's a nice colour combo. So that's that was pale green and parrot green. PC 1006 and PC 920. If for anyone that may be interested. I think I want to do this trim here as well. Yeah, oh, wrecking place. Bruce, I think I'm just too lazy about clean up to get very into paint. Pencils all the way. Oh, that iron brush is so good. I'm going to have to brush my teeth after the stream though. Like I can feel it sticking to my teeth already. Okay, bumper. I'm just kind of like looking at the pencil case open and going, I'll just pick this one. I'm in that sort of fanciful mood today. Not really that bothered about making things match. See, now I feel like the wheel... Okay. Maybe this wheel arch should be pink. And this one, yeah, okay, let's do that. Because why not? Always, because why not? Yeah. I think this part needs to be pink as well. Yeah. Eureka uses all sorts of acrylic paint: Liquitex, Daler Rowney, Talons, Cass Art's own brand, which has some nice colours. So do you have a like a preferred brand then, or is it a case of they just all play nice together, so like it works for you? Never had any issue mixing them. Yeah, well, I think acrylic paint's quite agreeable that way, isn't it? I'm trying to think what I've got some Winsor and I've got some Winsor and Newton, and I've got the System 3. That's Daler Rowney, isn't it? System 3 acrylic, and I've got some of the Liquitex full body ones, and I love the colours that they come in. I've got there was two that we got, I think it was in a scroller box. There was a kind of mauve colour and a muted turquoise, and I've used lots of the muted turquoise. I actually went and bought a second bottle of that, but I really like it because it's very see for a kind of like technically fuller bodied acrylic, it's very smooth. I like it a lot. Very smooth. I'm still hanging on to this blue pencil. I'm not ready to use it yet. I would also be quite interested here, obviously, just going back to talking about videos, I kind of sort of drifted off that subject fairly quickly there. If anybody has anything that they would like to see, I would very happily take any suggestions. Someone did leave a comment underneath a video about colouring bones. I think it was in a colouring book context rather than like a painting or drawing context. But if anybody has anything, because I was like, I actually think the person asked me if I'd done any videos on that, and I had to think about it for a minute, and I was like, actually, I don't think that's something I've ever done. So if there's anything like that you fancy, even if I'm not well versed in it, you know, that would be an exploration video rather than a this is how I do things video. So if you've got any suggestions, I'm more than happy to listen. The seat's going to be mint as well. Look at this, yes. So cute. I'm totally going for the octopus next. 100% happening today. Right, let's get started on this bumper here. I think I'm going to leave quite a lot of white of the paper, so, you know, so it's maybe like chromed. Yeah, that's a nice touch. Delicate. Hey, you, seems like you forgot something. I hate it when you get those emails. You've left something in your basket. And I'm like, I know. Okay, happy with that. Now, I think I'm going to take the parrot green for this weeny area. Oh, this is going to be hard work. It's times like this when I am acutely aware that I am so ready for reading glasses. Like, I need to kind of stay back here, but I need to lean over it a little bit so that I can see what's what. You guys are getting like a full-on close-up as well. So I'm sorry. I can understand why you prefer the jock cam. It really is like super fiddly bits. Now, let's try not to balls this up as well. Like, differentiate between petals and leaves here. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Yep. We'll make these some vintage hubcap type efforts. I love seeing that, see on vintage vehicles when they've got the white sidewall on the tyres. That's like, oh, I don't know why I find that so aesthetically pleasing, but I just do. I'm just thinking maybe if we should put the mint in here. Ooh. There we go. Yeah. I didn't warm my hand up before I started as well. I'm realising that's why I'm struggling a wee bit here. You think I'd know better by now? Apparently not. Eh. The octopus is clearly waving at you. Yes. Yes, yes. How not to draw murder trees. I'm gonna have to write these down, guys. Ah. Okay. If I do a video on that, Miri, though, you have to allow me permission to use some of your murder trees as a reference. Not murder trees. Colour mixing with coloured pencils. What do you mean by colour mixing? Do you mean like as in layering on the paper? Is that what you mean, Thea? Limited palette art with non-traditional primary colours. Okay. Non-trad primaries. You can use a magnifying glass. Do a Sherlock Holmes impression. Oh, jeez. Absolutely, I have plenty of murder trees. That is okay. I kind of secretly really like that idea. Yes, mixing coloured pencils by layering. Okay. Thea did a whole colour wheel with the 3 primaries and you'd never know it wasn't just 3 pencils. Yeah, I've seen videos in the past. There was somebody, it was such a long time ago, but there was somebody that bought this set of 12 polychromos pencils and did this, and I'm talking like a full A4 portrait just with this set of 12 pencils. And it was like hyper realism and it was amazing. I can't remember for the life of me who it was. It was such a long time ago. That was the other thing as well that I was like, oh my god, we've been here forever. When I was editing the water mixable oils video, I went back through my videos to find the scroller box that had the Cobra ones in it because I promised everyone I would link it at the end. And that... I was thinking like it was maybe like 2 or 3 years ago and it was 2019. It was nearly 7 years ago since that scroller box was out and I made that video. I was like, no wonder I couldn't remember whether I liked them or not. That was like a lifetime ago. question did I miss? How did you know we were on a question, Cal? Yeah, I was just asking if anybody had anything in particular that they would like to see in a video. You know, maybe some stuff we haven't done before. There is over 700 videos on the Colour Cave now. You know, we've done a lot in the last not quite 8 years. So I'm always happy to take on suggestions. I don't know whether to be insulted or happy that YouTube are using AI to suggest videos to me now. Like, there's actually an ideas and creativity section on the studio dashboard where you have all your your control panel kind of thing, and you can use AI to generate video topics if you're absolutely void of creativity. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I haven't looked at it. I don't know how good it is. I don't know whether it's a load of rubbish, but it takes into account videos that are doing well, that are trending on YouTube in your whatever domain it is. I have never been one to jump on the bandwagon though, so I don't know how much, I don't really like faddy videos. I like to do things when I want to do things. So I don't know. Cal would be grateful for gouache tips. Oh! Also been intrigued by the sticker making process. Yes, excluding the live streams, Thea. That's not including live streams. Using an algorithm on existing trends probably not as bad though. Yeah, I'm not really into AI. Please no, I filled in a sketchbook in a day. Well, there's bloody hell, there's no chance of me doing that. The last one took me 4 years or something. YouTube has just told Jan that the stream started. Good to know. We know the arty side, but the papers and if it's a cricket or similar, etc. Well, do you know, that might actually be quite a nice video for me to do, because I hand cut all of my stickers, and as someone with a dodgy hand, that's probably not the best idea. But it gives them all a sort of slightly, and you've probably never noticed it, but see if you have bought multiple sticker packs especially, compare the size of the margin on the stickers and you'll see that the white margin's different on all of them and it's not even. It's something that I do want to do. I am selling enough stickers now to warrant getting a cricket or something similar, and it's definitely something to look into, but they're so expensive. It's something I'll get round to at some point, because I'm finding now the volume of stickers, because I tend to do big batches, there's so many that fit on a sheet, and I have sort of little sessions of sitting cutting them out. So, but it's definitely on the cards. I just don't know when, because I say they're really expensive. I'm sure we talked about this once before as well, because I'd had the conversation with Julia about it, and she uses a silhouette, and the reason that she didn't get a cricket was for some of the features and everything, they're behind a paywall now and they want you to pay a subscription, and I'm definitely not doing that because I pay enough subscriptions as it is. So I was kind of looking into one similar to Julia's, and they are a bit cheaper. You're maybe in the sort of £100 to £200 range instead of the £300 to £400 range. So definitely something that I'm going to look into. The other thing is definitely on the cards imminently is there's things in the cave that I want to get rid of. And when I say get rid of, it's art supplies that are sitting on a shelf doing nothing. And I've talked about this before. My Albrecht Dürer, excuse me, that's the fizzy juice, watercolour pencils, etc. So I don't know whether I might put a little section up in the stash shop and just say prices on application, and anybody can contact me if they're maybe interested. Because things like the Albrecht Dürers, I don't want to just let them go to anyone. I want them to go somewhere where I know they're going to get used. So, but there's quite a few items like that, high value items that definitely need to not be in the cave because they're just not getting used. And I don't like that. I don't like overconsumption either. So that's something that I'm planning on tackling. Maybe if I sold some stuff I could use that money to buy a cricket. The only way I'd fill a sketchbook in a day if I was doing a stickman flicker. We need a fundraiser stream for a cricket or similar for the cave. We could do that. I just don't like asking people for money. Obviously, I make money from videos, and I make money from the stash shop, so I'm like slightly uncomfortable with that. But I suppose we could have like a fun, like little session. We could do like a Saturday night or something. That might be something to think about as well. Hello, Baker Mama. How are you? Happy finishing work. They're on offer in Hobbycraft at the moment. Hobbycraft's really expensive though. Definitely pay for the cricket name, yeah. Patty got one from work. There you go. Yeah, I was about to say, have you still got it? You need to find it. I definitely think that would be advantageous though for me, and it would definitely speed up. Obviously there's quite a lot of labour intensive hours in cutting stickers out by hand. I weirdly kind of enjoy it as well though. Making stickers, it's such a labour of love, and there's just something really nice about it, and it feels really personal when you're sitting cutting them out. Like, I love that part of it. But when you've got like 40 sticker packs to put together and you've run out of a sheet of pointy point pencils, you know, then it becomes a bit of an issue. So definitely something to think about though. I don't know if there's any point in me colouring these in, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So I think I'll stick with the kind of pastel-y theme here. I wanted to use like a lemon yellow on the headlight, so I think I'll make these daisies. I can't think about daisies now without thinking about Rubik's Cubes, because the method that I use for Rubik's Cube, the first thing that you do is make a daisy on the top, and every time someone says daisy, I just think about Rubik's Cubes. That's ridiculous. I've got Deco Yellow, that might do. Let's go for Deco Yellow. I think it was 150 for the machine and some vinyl. See, the other thing as well is that's another learning curve to go through. Like, oh, I get that it's not really asking for money. We in return get something back, right? More stickers. Well, yeah, I would probably make more stickers if I did have one. Cal said I had an email last night telling me that my coffee account is going to be deleted. Good to know. To remember coffee. I know that some people still use it. That's where we started the stash shop. Was on with coffee. It didn't work all that well though, to be fair. I don't know, how did I get that pencil in there? Can you see that pink smudge there? I need oh, that elbow stretch is tight. Oh. Would also open up cheaper cave merch. Well, it wouldn't really, because I'm making them anyway. I don't really bill myself in terms of time. It wouldn't be that much cheaper. It's cheaper than using a company's printer stickers though. You only got it for the stash shop? Well, that's funny. Yeah, that was very, very early on. That was before, but it was before we really had a stash shop. It was just the very beginnings of it. But see, I just tried it out, and again, I didn't expect it to be that popular, and it was popular, and that's why it didn't really work, because you can only, I don't know if it's the same anymore, but it used to just be like increments, so pricing things was very difficult, and it just didn't really work. But I should have done a bit more research on it, but I very, very quickly got rid of it and decided that the stash shop might actually be a thing. And that's how we ended up where we are. I've got cream here. I think I just wanted to take a bit of the white out of these petals, but I think they're going to end up looking yellow. I'm willing to take that risk though. I just kind of like want to take the take the starkness off the paper. That's okay though. I can live with that. I could have used the blue, to be fair. I should have used the blue more likely, not could have, should have. But I'm here for some no pressure colouring today, so you know. Just a little scribble. So, I don't know any vehicles that have got a light blue steering wheel, but you do now. And I'll put a little bit on that door handle as well. Oh look, that's quite cute, isn't it? The tyres, I'm going to stick with a more traditional colour though. Give us a bit of contrast. Oh, look at the size of my black pencil. Goodness me. It's annoying me. There we go. I could really do with a pencil extender here, but for the sake of like the size of the area I'm working in, I'm not going to bother. It's making things slightly awkward right enough. Sorry, hand. I made a boo-boo. You mean in terms of transfers onto totes or customising sketchbooks? Eh. Well, I might kind of dabble in stuff like that, but I don't know. Because, I mean, if you're going to buy tote bags in anyway, the costs of... In saying that, it would be good for doing smaller quantities. That's a good point. But when you're buying tote bags in, they're apps, you know, like it's just as easy to send them your design and they charge you like maybe like £10 extra, like for the whole order, I mean. I don't know how much there would be in the way of savings. And, well, sketchbooks, I don't quite know how that would work. Because the ones that I've had done, it's like a proper cut die. And it's, I can't word today. See white or bright and keep that permanently, so I can basically stick that on anything now. Hello, Amanda. Nice to see you. But it would be a time investment. Well, yeah, but I think that would probably help balance it out though, Cal. I think you're right. You remember the days of furry steering wheels and varying animal prints and neon and fuzzy dice? I had fuzzy dice in my first car and they were yellow. Okay, I think we're done with that one. That's kind of cute. I'm really excited to get up here for my octopus. What colour do we think the octopus should be? I was thinking like a vermilion. Don't ask me why. I don't know. Okay, so I think... Not stopping long, got a doctor's appointment. Well, thanks for popping in though. That was nice of you. You didn't have to do that. I saw a Bob Ross car freshener on Temu last night. Like an air freshener. I would totally have a Bob Ross air freshener. For those of you not in the know, I play a lot of Animal Crossing, and in Animal Crossing you have an island, and my island flag is Bob Ross. It's Bob Ross. It's the only way. Okay, I think we can maybe get a nice gradient here. What about cerulean blue? We could do it back to front, couldn't we? Take it along this way. Oh yeah. This is why we like Prismacolors, because we get to do the fun things like this. This cerulean blue, again, words, lack of, is also a really nice colour. Like, I like it, I like it. Bob Ross bobblehead, Bob Ross Funko doll. I have two Bob Ross Funko Pops. I have 524 and 559. if you're interested, April. I don't know if they're the same as the ones you've got. Have I played AC since the new hotel update? Yes, every day. Apart from yesterday. Did I play yesterday? Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's great. I love it. Cal's got a Switch Lite, the handheld one. Was that impede Animal Crossing enjoyment? No, it was built for that. I actually prefer playing Animal Crossing handheld to playing on what I call the big telly, you know, to having it docked, because it's quite a cosy game. It's the Colour Cave colours. It totally is, and I did that completely by accident. Note to self, in Prismacolor, Colour Cave colours are cerulean blue, and what's this one? Blue green light. I've only got it in French now. Blue green light. Or something like that. I don't know what it is, and that's gonna annoy me. I don't even know where my swatch book is. I'm not going looking for it. I'm busy. It's a Colour Cave van with an octopus in it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for like a vermilion colour. Pumpkin orange. Is there not a pencil called vermilion in this set? Am I just making that up? Pale vermilion. That'd do for a start, wouldn't it? He's holding a paintbrush in his one foot and a bucket of paint. I don't know. I can't see from here. He's on a very up high shelf. I'll look later. I'll get back to you, April. I'll tell you. The thing with the 20 shooting stars limit, not true. My beach was flooded constantly with star fragments yesterday. Okay, well that's good to know. Only done 2 of the lorries so far. Well, that's it. To be fair, Amanda, I'm only on the 3rd one. I got excited that there's some new Tomb Raider Funkos. Do you know, it's not something that I collect. Mr. Gem's got all the Breaking Bad ones, and like all of them, all the limited edition ones and everything as well. They're very cool. I think he's missing one, which he's never been able to find now. It's not, I'm not that much of a collector in terms of stuff like that, but there's a couple. We've got Queen as well as in the band. We've got all the Queen Funko Pops. I've got, I do have a Bob Ross Lego minifigure. It's my favourite. He sits up on the shelf with the Nintendo Lego. He lives up there. But they are very collectible, aren't they? The Funko Pops, I mean, well, so are the minifigures, but you get my drift. Oh joy, it's snowing again. Are you really surprised though, Patty? Imagine snowing in Canada in January. Never. I think vermilion was a good choice. Oh wait, this is bringing out the collectors here. This conversation. I think I'll just stick to Lego. It's a ridiculously expensive habit, but never mind. I'm really disappointed. They bring out a new modular building every year, and I'm really disappointed in the one that's just come out because it looks remarkably similar to one that's already available, except just like a crappy version of it. I don't think it's going to be one I'm going to be buying. But in saying that, when they did the museum, and then they did it's called Tudor Corner. It's basically an English pub, like an old English pub. When you've had those two, that's a very hard act to follow. I'm finding it really difficult to stay in the lines today. I don't know why. What is wrong with me? I can honestly say that's a problem I've never had, but today it seems to be like it really does seem to be an issue. I have to say this octopus looks incredibly chilled out. It's just like minding its own beeswax. Right, let's grab a red. Harming, something a bit more punchy. Crimson red, that sounds good to me. Again, I'll just get this quick sharpen now we're here. Patty's got Funkos. I'm going to take a wild stab in the dark and say Star Wars. Amanda usually takes over nephew's Lego. Well, it's funny because my brother said to me that he bought Lego for my nephew, but my nephew wanted help building it, and my brother like doesn't have the patience for it. And I was like, I'll help him. The Canadian Prime Minister received Lego from the head of Denmark as a diplomatic gift. Like, what? Like, that would make you want to be a Prime Minister. Like, if there's Lego getting flung about, but obviously Denmark, that makes sense. That's really funny. I like that. That's a good one. I'll remember that piece of information and spit out randomly at some point. Thank you for that. He's never impressed. Amanda's nephew's never impressed. Oh my goodness, the window's blown. Such a fright there. The wind's caught my window and blown it open. There's a window open at the other end of the house, so I think there's just been like a through draft and it's just pulled it. My God. Oh, right, okay. I'm gonna have to fix this. Sorry, guys. Jeez, oh. Sorry about that. God, I really jumped out my skin there. See, because I'm here myself as well. Whew. It was nice to see you, Amanda. Thanks for popping in. Good to have a wee chat. Right, for the bottom colour here, I think I want in like a dark navy. Oh, there's indigo. Let's go for indigo. Let's have a really dark truck. I've got I don't even know. Like, how do I even know when that happened? I must have had like a hand spasm. Yeah, Denmark should use Lego in defence of Greenland. It would be ouch, ouch, ouch. We really shouldn't laugh about some such subjects, but yes, that's a very interesting point. Right, but before I say what I'm going to say, have we got any USAians in the chat? I don't know. We've got hundreds of Canadians today, but I don't think we've got any Americans, have we? I just don't want to risk offending anyone unintentionally. I don't think there is anyone in... Elise isn't here, is she? Because I know she's American. Yeah, I was just going to say that I saw a couple of snippets from Donald Trump's last press conference. Oh my goodness. Oh, D, hello, okay, not offended, okay. I'm not making any disparaging remarks though, I just like to point that out. I was shocked at the cognitive level of Donald Trump in that press conference. It was a press conference, it was an official, address, and the man could barely stick to a subject. He could barely string a sentence together, and he was stopping his sentences and starting another one and then going back and like repeating the same stuff over and over. It was actually, because I tend to stay away from stuff like that because I can't stand him, and I feel sorry for the majority of the American people. D. But I mean, it's just it's at the point, like, how are they letting things go on like that? Like, it's obscene, it's ridiculous, and this man's rampaging about the world claiming that he's going to take people's countries and he's stealing people's boats and all the other horrible things that he's doing. Like, I just find it almost incredulous. But that's the first time I've really seen any proper footage, like in the moment kind of thing. And I was shocked at the state of him, and I genuinely think that even if he was still the personality and the person that he is, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about his cognitive abilities. He's not fit to do his job, and I really, really hope that somebody does something about it. Hi, Jackie. What I think you'll say will not offend me is something I'm ashamed of. It's not about shame though. It's about being able to identify whether someone's safe and fit to do a job. And he's making things very, very, I mean, he was making things very unsafe anyway, but it's just getting to a point now where it's like, oh, lurking American, no offence is taken. It's hard to watch. Yeah, it really is. He made fun of Biden for being too old. I didn't even know you were in here, Jackie. It's nice to see you. I don't see you very often either. Yeah, this is, I'm very careful with things like this because I don't like to talk about particularly other people's countries' politics because I'm not that well versed on it. But that wasn't really what this, that statement was about. It was about the state of his health rather than his ethics or lack thereof. It wasn't meant to be a political statement, but I'm aware that it's a very sensitive subject for Americans. So no offence intended, but I was just very shocked because, I'd seen things when he ran for the presidency the first time. There was a lot of stuff in the news and I was kind of like half following what was going on out of curiosity, but I've very much steered away from it this time because there's just so much bad news, and I've kind of had to step away from it a wee bit for like my own mental health. So I haven't seen anything Trumpy for like quite some time, and I was very, very shocked, very shocked. But he's a fair age though, isn't he? He's not like I know he's not a spring chicken, but is he not in his like mid-70s or something? I'm sure one of our American cavers here will be able to tell you. He's 3 years younger than Biden. He's past 80, is he? Is he that old? That's pretty old. At a certain point, it stops being about politics and just becomes about professionalism. Well, that's kind of, that's a much more astute way of saying what I was trying to say. Thank you, Cal. 79 and 83, says Google. Just to, okay. So, like he's getting up there. He's getting up there. Okay, that's quite interesting. Today I learned. I knew he was old. I didn't think he was that old. I thought he was like 75 or something. I wonder how many footy fans plan to visit the USA for the World Cup. Well, they're already saying that loads of people have cancelled their tickets. It was something like 19,000 people have just decided they're not going. I think as well, because it's so spread out though, I mean, it would be very dependent on where in America you're going. America's a big place, Some places I imagine would be a little bit less tempestuous than others based on what we've seen. Jackie's off sick today. You can finally watch live. That's not really my favourite reason for you being able to watch the stream. I'm sorry about that. But that's nice that you're here. I hope you're not feeling too poorly and that it passes quickly. I'm really enjoying this colour combination. I'm so easily pleased. I realise that I say that a lot of the time these days, but I am just really easily pleased. Colour makes me happy. And this is definitely making me happy today. I'm just looking at the time. I want to stick quite tightly to our schedule because I've got stuff to set up for the next little escapade. But that's a fairly good start. I'm quite happy with that. I'm just going to do this door panel here, and then I think I'll take a wee quick break. Do you know something that is really strange? I've talked about my tea drinking habits quite a lot on the stream as well. and my tea drinking habits have changed since I stopped drinking alcohol at the start of the month. And I find quite often later in the day now, I'm kind of like hankering for a cup of tea. I can't though, because caffeine, and I haven't slept well since my mum passed away. So I'm trying to limit my caffeine intake as much as possible when it comes to tea, because there's a lot of caffeine in tea. But it's weird, like I've got a real hankering for a cup of tea right now. But like proper tea, not like fruit tea or like a builder's cup of tea. And I think that's really strange, because I never ever used to drink tea in the afternoons at all. That was always a morning pursuit. And I usually drink soft drinks in the afternoon. But I find it really strange that that's happened since I've not had any alcohol, because that's been what, I'll be coming in 3 weeks now. I can't say I notice a difference. Everyone's like, oh, you'll feel so much better, blah blah, like you'll sleep so much better, because that was my reason for doing dry January, just to see if cutting out alcohol altogether would maybe help like kickstart a sleeping pattern of some description, and it's done the grand sum of sweet FA. So I got 3 hours the other night, 3 all night. Give up. So what that tells me is I should just go back to drinking Jack Daniels, because it doesn't make any difference. Mary drinks tea constantly. Unfortunately, it's never affected my ability to sleep. Well, the thing is though, it's clearly not that's doing it. I think it's just my brain that's doing it. But I just don't want to add anything that might be a factor, if you see what I'm saying. Ulrika didn't notice a difference when she stopped drinking the month before doing a walking half marathon. Yeah, like, I've had so many people like, and they're like almost like it's an epiphany. I'm like, well, it bloody doesn't feel like one. I think there's maybe just too much Jack Daniels in my bloodstream permanently now. I don't know. Certainly drinking less, that's not going to do me any harm. And I think that I'll probably cut down my alcohol intake, like, for the foreseeable. I don't think I'll stay, I hate using the phrase teetotal, I don't think I'll stay alcohol free, but I think I'll definitely reduce my sort of regular consumption rates. It's good for my wallet, and because your drinking's like it's like a habit for me sometimes. Didn't lose weight, didn't sleep better, nothing. Yeah, so like I'm 10% Jack Daniels, the same as the Iron Brews, like 10% sugar. I might be more than 10%. Maybe I'm down to 10% now. Well, the thing is, Cal, there's very little that I get excited about drinking now. It's literally beer, especially in the summer. See a cold beer in the summer. Yes. I love it. And Jack Daniels, but there's a lot of other things I just wouldn't drink anyway, like even when I was drinking. And I don't go to the pub. I think I was in the pub 3 times last year. So I'm not that fussed about it. And I think there was quite a few people that were like, oh, you're never going to last a month not drinking. I'm like, you're making me sound like an alcoholic. Like, I'm not missing it at all. But it's, as I say, I don't think it's actually helped in any way, so we'll see. Anyway, right guys, I'm going to take a wee quick break there. I'm fairly happy with what we've done, and this is, the whole point of this kind of book is that you can finish something in a very short space of time. So I did that in about 15 minutes and made a start on this one as well. So that wee page is coming along nicely. This is something that I'll probably just finish off myself now. I don't think I'll bring this back into a live stream again, but when I'm finished I will post it on Instagram, and you can peruse it there if you are an Instagrammer. Oh, that reminds me as well. I'm going to have to look up his name, which I'll do when I take a wee break. You know how I've got this obsession with like drawing chonky animals? There's an artist on Instagram and he loves to draw fat birds. Like he just draws fat birds. I'm going to find out who he is. Obviously I followed him straight away, and he draws like really chonky little like wrens, and I was like, oh, I found my person. I'll look up his name and I'll let you know when I come back. So it is now time for you to discuss your meals and your cooking, and I shall be back in just a wee jiffy. Salmon with Brussels sprouts. Not the Brussels sprouts, oh no. Chicken and mushroom casserole. Maxie, hi. I didn't see you come in either, hello. Ham sandwiches for a late lunch, not sure about dinner. Yeah, I'm on my own tonight, so I'm like, whatever. I had to go and find the offending window and close it. It is now raining and the rain was like coming in the window. So it was all the way through at the other end of the house, and that is what caused that one to blow open. So I had to kind of lean out and grab it because it's like a side opener. So I had to lean out and like, oh. But yeah, it's proper raining now. Oh, right, anyway. Anywho's, schnitzel, chips and salad. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to have. I'm not even that bothered about anything. I'm like, I'm just neutral at the moment, but I'm not particularly hungry yet, so that'll probably change later on. Okay, so this was the sorting that I've done with my my gouache paints. Let's zoom all the way out so we can see what's going on. I've just sorted that. I've got these little stackable tubs. I think they're meant for like cosmetics, but they work really well for gouache. So I've I cannot speak today. Separated. I've separated them into just like rough colour groups so that I'm not like raking through the basket trying to find what I'm looking for. And so far it's working pretty well, but that's how I found out how many tubes of paint I've got, which is slightly obscene. Anyway, anywho's, so we're gonna get the gouache on the go in a little minute. So this is there's my other my only other Holbein apart from the ones I bought. Dark green's a very lovely colour. Anywho, this is again back to the conversation we were having last week. Separated, and I think that's how you spell it, Thea. It's all the sugar, it probably is. But I forgot about this, and I think it was Thea that mentioned it. Because I was like, I don't have any whips. Like, what am I going to do on Wednesday? I don't have any whips. I'll have to start something else. And accidentally last week we found two, so that was handy. So I want to do a little bit more on this, and again I think I'm going to make the effort and try and finish it. It's very slow going is the thing, and it's that kind of in the same vein as we were talking about the Thomas Kincaid. There's so much to do here, so I'd like to do a wee bit of that. I can clearly see where I finished it last time as well, so that's pretty handy. So we're going to have to do a fair bit of mixing and whatnot here. I'm not trying to replicate this, down to the very last sort of nth degree. But I would like to have a passing resemblance. And I think I'm kind of there so far. So I'm going to work a little bit on this for the next hour and try and push it on a little bit, Everybody else, have you got whips today? And if so, what is it you're working on? Do you have anything as epic as this? I mean, I've been at this a long time now. But to be fair, I haven't touched it for a long time. So, there's that. So I need to start with... I'm looking straight away here, and there's definitely hints of like pink and things going in here. Like, yeah... possibly some ombre type colours as well. So let me just shiggle everything about. I'm just going to grab some white straight out the gate, because we know we're going to need that. That's going to be a thing. I think I've actually got a white here. That's not white. That's primary red. That's not going to be helpful in the... Yeah, there we go. So yeah, Talons is a good one. I like that one. I'll put that back in there just now. And we can get on with, maybe I've got yellow ochre. I don't know what one of these is yellow-ater than the other. I'm not even sure I want yellow ochre, to be honest. The good thing as well about this is I can spread these all out. And if I don't need them, I can stack them and they're out the way. So I'm quite pleased with this system so far. Oh, there's my browns, right? That's probably a good tin to have out just now. Yeah, I was thinking more. I'd maybe add some burnt sienna kind of colours in there. My craft room is the biggest whip. Yeah. Ooh. Japanese colouring book, you replicate the original picture. Yeah. Patty's got so many pages started that she's lost count. I do have a whale in a Kirby book. Ooh. Yeah, I'm like, it's interesting that Thea's saying that about like not torturing yourself. That is torture to me. Like, I like to finish things off. I had genuinely forgotten about this, so and I think that's probably why it didn't bother me. But now I'm like, okay, we need to finish this. I like to finish things because I need that sense of accomplishment in my life. Right, there we go. Yeah, I think burnt sienna is probably a good place to start. I might even just be able to use that straight. Do you know that? Whoa, this is getting a bit exciting already. Hi, Nye. How are you? No, we've got about 40 minutes now. It's so lovely to see you. We don't see you very often either, so thanks for coming in. Right, I think I want a wee... This is kind of like stipply. So I've got this knackered flat brush. This was in a scroller box. Again, this is probably ancient, this brush. The bristles aren't in the best condition. It's just... purely use that's done that to that. It's not been mistreated. I do tend to look after my paintbrushes as well as I can, but it's great for stuff like this. So let's get on the move here. Just get this to a consistency that I want. I am keeping my gouache quite thick when I'm doing this, just to try and sort of replicate the textures and things. I don't really want watery gouache at this point, especially because I'm going over the top of something that's already there. So hopefully I need a bit of we call it kitchen roll, kitchen towel, kitchen paper, whatever you want to call it. This is like a leftover Christmas one. It's got candy canes and gingerbread men on it. Oh, there we go. April's got no problem with unfinished things. Life's too short to force myself. Yeah, it's not good if you have to force yourself. There's definitely motivation behind it for me though, rather than like feeling that I have to, like I want to. So for this, I'm actually going to take quite a lot of paint off the brush. Oh, I've got a globby bit. Get off. Get off. Right, put that there. And I'm just trying to gauge. This is all a bit sort of in here, so yeah. But I'll just pop a little bit of this in. Like so. It looks as if it comes out into the water a little bit as well, so I'll maybe add in a bit more later. And then just with a damp brush I can back and forth a bit. And I'll see what that's like when it dries. There's much darker colours in here as well. I'm assuming that was put in maybe that was maybe the background, you know, like the underpainting colour perhaps. So again, I'll need to go really easy with this. I think I'll go back to using one of these dark blues because it's definitely not black. I've got AG and blue here in the Arteza. That might be one of the colours that I used up here. Again, see, this is the bad part because it's so long ago. No, that's too light. Right, okay, we definitely don't want that. Try again, Jen. Indigo. Yeah, that's a bit more like it. We'll go with some indigo. So that's Winsor and Newton. Glad to be here again. Yeah. In America we call kitchen roll paper towel. Paper towels, yeah. Okay. Cal's got at least 5 colouring books because of seeing them on the channel. I try, see with things like that, I do try to not enable people, but if you see something and you like it, you're like, oh, you know. Right, I'm going to grab my liner brush for this. This is a King Art Original Gold. This is my favourite liner brush that I've found so far for gouache. It's one of those, like a liner brush is something I really struggle with just because of my hand, but I seem to be able to keep control of things with this one. So yeah, that's a bonus. So let me just... And there's kind of a bit... I know you don't really need a running commentary on what I can see because you can see it as well, but I don't know, it helps, okay? Like, it helps. There seems to be a little bit in there as well. And it's kind of, you can see the flow of the actual reeds and things. That wind is really picking up out there, my goodness. It's going to be a blustery evening by the sounds of things. So even if I can just get that sort of impression of what's going on, and then I'm quite happy. I've never seen a colouring book like this out in the wild. Somebody gifted this to me. It was a caver that gifted it to me. There seems to be a lot more down here. Okay. Maybe put in some... There aren't any lines in the image, but that's okay. This is the Gem version. It's fine. And the paint's just neat here. I'm not diluting it at all. But this is a really nice wee liner brush. I like it. Now there seems to be some light blue over the top of this as well. I don't know how well you can see that in the camera, but it's kind of like muting down the more ochre colours. I've got ice blue here. Again, this is an Arteza colour, which I quite like this colour. I don't think it's quite what we're needing here, but Oh, and I had to get the ink house. Oh, I can't get the... Oh no, I've got a leak. I've got a leak. Oh no. Oh, this is bad. This is bad. I don't want to have to squeeze this out here. Oh no. Oh no. Am I taking it right out the tube? Taking it right out the tube, literally. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Oh. This needs to be like smudged across though. I'm going to have to kind of like glaze that a wee bit. Okay. This is not what I wanted. Let me grab a slightly wider brush. This just happens to be to hand, so I need to take like most of the water off this though. That's better. Okay, yeah. Right, that's fine. I don't know what I'm going to do with this though. Put it over there just now. Oh, hands. Oh god, I've just covered myself in... Never mind. Calm. Calm. I might as well keep using this scene as it's here. I'll grab a number 4 round because there seems to be plenty of watery bits. Oh, let's put all the watery bits in while the scene has burst the tube anyway. Oh, it looks as if this has been put in on top though. This looks to be like a last layer apart from in at the back here. So I might try and find... It's so difficult to tell here like I think here. I feel as if I kind of need to like draw a line around some of this. Okay, so there's a frame of reference. There's a section there that looks familiar. That ties in with that part there. So I could maybe start in here. See, the line work's not 100% accurate either, and this is one of the problems with this type of book. And the Thomas Kincaid one's exactly the same. The lines don't necessarily tie in with what's happening at all, so we'll just have to try and mark them out as best we can and go from there. That looks like it comes up round there a little bit. Again, I don't need pinpoint accuracy, but you know. I've got this bit up in here as well, which I can't decipher at all. There's the big bushy bush that goes that way, which is this one here. So technically down, but this is just a jumble of shapes in here. Like, I just want to zoom in on this a little minute so that you can see what I'm talking about. I mean, like, come on, what is this? Like, what is this? At this point, I think I'll just make it up as I go along. Oh, dear. The good thing is, I mean, obviously because we're using an opaque medium here, we can go over the top of things and that sort of idea. Needs a wee bit of water on the brush now. So that means that technically this comes down here somewhere. I don't know. And then we've got a bit up the back here. Which is this part in here. So yeah, this is more like signposting than painting, I think, at this stage. That's pretty dark in there, so we're going to have to do quite a bit of work on that. But at least if I can get a feel for where things are supposed to be, then that might be helpful. Okay, I think that's a big enough section to be working with. The big bushy bush, obviously. Like, what else is it going to be? I suppose it could be a smaller bushy bush, or a not so bushy bush. Spindly bush. Right, now, see, now I'm just being silly. So I'm thinking I'm going to stick to this little bit down here, and there's some greenery underneath. There's some pretty dark colours going on. There's more of this kind of like sienna colour, but it's a bit more muted. So I'm going to add a little bit of something to it. I wonder if I pop in, what brush am I going to use? I'll use my knackered brush to mix, because that's a good idea. Grab a little bit of this indigo. Okay, so that's nice and dark, but it's not black. I think that's maybe kind of where I want to go. It's giving me a nice kind of like greenish colour. So let me get some of this sienna in here again. Again, there seems to be like a run of it along here, and then the greenery's been like painted on top. So it's just a case of figuring out. It stops kind of halfway down. Again, there's no indicator of that here at all. This all very much looks the same. Just to the left of the big bushy bush. So I'm going to go there. And there seems to be a bit sort of in here as well. I'll have flying by the seat of my pants. And this part over here looks more ochre though. You can see why it takes a lot to sit down and do something like this, because you've got to pay quite close attention to what's going on. So a Brazilian bush. They don't take into account the layering or technique that was used to make the painting. Yeah, pretty much. As a Brazilian myself, I can assure you this is definitely not a Brazilian bush. Oh, it's getting silly now. Right, so I've got some yellow ochre out. This is Winsor and Newton. Winsor and Newton. Let me take a little bit of that, and smush it together and see what happens. Right, okay, so we're definitely more ochre-y. We're still red-ish. Again, this is just like tomfoolery, I say. I kind of want to put a little bit of that on there as well. Yeah, that's really red up there. Okay. Okay. I'm just looking to see if there's anywhere else. I'm so confused with my bushes. This isn't tying in with this either. I need to stop jumping about. I think I just need to concentrate on one area because I'm getting to the point where I don't know what's going on anymore. Like, I don't know what's going on. Concentrate on one area, everything will be okay. I've got let's crack open the Artful Gouache chocolate brown. Give my paintbrush a little clean and get these darker spots as well. Again, there seems to be quite a lot of blue in this though. It's kind of difficult to tell. But I'm just trying to kind of like eyeball it. There's definitely, that's like really dark blue. But in behind the greenery here, I don't even know if that is brown. It doesn't look all that brown. I can give it a bash, can't I? Tomfoolery. That is a good word. I don't use that word very often. That's not in my regular vocabulary, but it's a good one. Cal's starting to flag a bit. Flag away, my dear. Don't mind us. Okay, where did my bit of kitchen roll go? There it is there. Yes, one next to where these bits are. In there. Oh, that's really watery. That wasn't supposed to be that watery. That was a bit of a dilution fail there. I forgot that that's Artful Gouache, so it's not Winsor & Newton. Okay, my bad. Too much water. Oh, right, try again. That's better. Ha! Got there in the end. I think I'm gonna see that's, oh goodness me, where the waterline is. I do think it's blue, but I'm gonna pop in a wee bit here, just in a couple of spots. And then over beside this bush as well, there's this weird brown bit here. I don't know why that's there, but it's there, so we'll pop it in. It's starting to look a bit like a patchwork quilt here, or like a paint by numbers. Looks like an indigo muddy brown base with dabs of green tones. There's quite a lot of green undertones like next to these lighter patches. The blue's definitely underneath. I was looking at these sort of bits up in here though. I don't know how well you can see them as well, but they look sort of like a brownish bluish. But I think it's paint that's been layered up, not paint that's been mixed. As I say, it's kind of difficult to tell. But I think we're going to have to go for some... See, I kind of want to put... There's definitely something darker in the background, even over here. So again, I'll pop it in. I'll maybe sort of intersperse that with a bit of blue as well. I think that indigo colour that I was using. I could actually go darker than that though. let me see, what can I put in there? I'm really intrigued by this grey colour. I've barely used it. I don't remember ever using it for anything, but I think I keep opening it and thinking, oh, that's too light, I'll just mix my own grey. Yeah. Like, grey's not really a colour you need in gouache. I would like, good grief. See, I was just done telling you that it's much easier to find things when I've got them all sorted out in colours. I'm telling lies. It's all lies, I tell you. Oh, lordy. I've got, alright, there's a tube of black. I know where that is. That'll do. I'm just, like, the tiniest of tininess, just to darken down the indigo a little bit. See, when you're using colours like that, it's sometimes the easiest thing to do is just to get a bit of black in there. Instead of mixing, you know, like lots of colours together to get... I can't use that brush now because it's dirty. That's better. Ha ha ha. Switch to this round brush anyway. Lost the plot already. Right, there we go. So yeah, like in here. Yeah, I think that's slightly better. But that's almost as if that they've done that like all the way along the waterline and then the other paint's been on over the top of it. So I think I'm going to kind of go with that as a thought. Thank you for your assistance, Cal. There's definitely some down in here as well. Okay, now we're kind of like onto greens. And we can start building up the upward bits, the uppy bits. Sorting out is great as long as you can remember where things have been sorted out too. Yeah, well, this is the first time operating with the new system, so there's bound to be some teething problems. I'll just turn my palette around here so I've got some wheels that are a bit closer to me. So for that, I think that I'm going to go with the colour that I'd mixed, which was the, excuse me, was the burnt sienna and the indigo together. To give me that sort of really dark olive green colour. I'll just show you here. That's kind of mixed into this colour. So I think I'll go for some of that. I don't need a lot of it, I don't think. But I'm gonna, I kind of want to cover this whole area just as a sort of base layer. Again, there's the waterline there. Ha, found you. The ever elusive waterline. That is quite a watery mix. Let me maybe mix some more of that up. I'm not even bothered if that mixes in with that blue, because I'm going to be doing a fair amount of, like, over the top of it. It's not a thing. Everything's so itty bitty here. I'm going to have to leave that to dry before I can do anything else with it though. It's almost like watercolour, that's how diluted I've gone. And then over beside this part here, there's a kind of patch in there. Okay. Doesn't look like much just now, but we'll get there. Probably not today, the rate we're going at, but Thea's overwhelmed by just watching. It is a process. I say that it is. It's really, really slow going, and you can't expect like any sort of miracles because you're setting yourself up for failure if you do that. I do tend to find though, if it's possible to use colours straight out the tube, it's much, much easier when you're doing things like this than continuously trying to mix colours, especially when you're putting down these like first layers. So like for this section in here, I'm going to go in with like a yellowish green to start with, if I can find something that's suitable. I would like a chartreusey colour, but that's going to be quite offensive. Offensive yellowy green. The other option is to just go with some ochre. Like that lime green, this is going to be ridiculous. But... well, I do lime green just for funsies. I think I want to do lime green just for funsies. Why not? And then maybe tone it down with some yellow ochre over the top. Oh, why not? That's fun. So if we take this straight from here, that's actually not that bad. It looks outrageous on the camera, but it's not that bad, I promise. Oh, that's funny. I never ever thought I would be using offensive lime green in replicating a Monet, but here we are, telling you, quality high standards here in the game. And I feel like there's quite a lot of it in this patch in the middle as well here. I might just be getting a wee bit overexcited with myself here. I need to wait till that dries. So I want to start pushing that up over the dark colours, but I can't because it's not dry. Yeah, just this section's slightly off, but again, I'm not that bothered. I still get the gist of it. So let's just whack that down. Again, I'm just trying to keep this line all the way across here. I do think this image has all sorts of green in it. Yeah. I'll say we're doing so much layering as well, like that, and that like that each section takes time because of that as well, and you can't do more on it until it dries. And by the time you do that, you get back there, you kind of like half forgotten what you're doing. Oh right, okay. I'll take a more traditional green now, for this middle part. I've had my eye spy on. Is it this one? That's quite offensive as well. In for a penny, in for a pound. I've got the Arteza pale green here. That I actually think that's more offensive than the lime green, honestly. There's going to be a lot of yellow on top of this though. Definitely going to be using the ochre to calm it down a little bit. There's just this, there's like a whole bag of nothing in the middle here. Like I don't even know what that is. It's just like a... I don't know. I think I might have to use some sort of artistic license here, because it's very, very difficult to separate out what colours. It's just like a sort of muddiness. Yeah. Okay. It's kind of nice just using paint straight out the tube though for a wee change. It's not something I do very often. Fluffy toilet seat pink. Oh, this is good. Seaweed. If I was going to mix a green, I think this would be it. Right, so it's very blobby down the bottom. which is nice. There's definitely a wee bit of blue in there as well, which I'll need to put in while it's still wet. And then that starts kind of like shushing itself about a bit. And it kind of blobs its way down there as well. See, don't you love just getting like a running commentary, even though you can clearly see the image, and I'm sure most of you are familiar with it anyway. But we're into the finer points of where the blobs are. Trying not to stick my hand in the paint or the lid. And then I've got this section here as well, which seems to be dabs or daubs more than strokes. There's a lot of dabbing, and I think there's quite a lot of blue in this section as well, just looking at it. I see it's quite difficult to tell because it does look quite granular just on this, you know, this printout that I've got here. But I think if I get this while it's still wet and go back in with that indigo colour, I think I'll be somewhere close on that section. This comes across here as well. Grab some of that indigo. Oh, it's nearly dry. Oh no. See, the other thing you've got to remember as well is, see, with this colouring book, it's not watercolour paper. It's, I was going to say it's not particularly good quality colouring paper as well, but I can't say that for sure because I haven't tried any pencil on it, but it doesn't feel particularly good. So, you know, we really are kind of working against things here, which is fine. I mean, I obviously chose to do this, so not complaining, but it's just interesting to kind of figure out the complexities. I don't know if anyone else has had this recently, but the smart speaker, who shall not be named, seems to be like absolutely hammering me with notifications just now, and I don't know why. It seems to go off like 5 or 6 times a day now, and I don't remember it doing that before. I don't know whether Amazon's marketing's just getting more and more aggressive. One thing I do find really offensive is sitting watching something on Amazon and they put ads in it, and then there's a button you can click on the bottom of the screen to add whatever is the adverts for, like, to your basket. Like, oh, that annoys me. I don't know why, but that annoys me so much. It's like, oh, like, just go away. Like, you're literally in my face all the time, and I'm not buying stuff off Amazon because 99 times out of 100 it's cheaper elsewhere, and I can wait an extra 2 days to get it. I just find their marketing so aggressive now, but that really rubbed me up the wrong way the other night. I can't remember what it was I was watching, but I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, I can't get away from them. Like, yeah. Rant over. The speaker wanted me to rate a product about almost midnight a few days ago. I hardly ever rate anything. They seem to ask you though, and there's probably a high chance that you've not actually used it yet as well. I don't know if anyone's found that. Like, I can't rate it because it's still sitting in the packaging. Haven't got that far in life yet. So I'm taking this in line with here. That's my stopping point. It's nice to have something to sort of line it up with, because this is just like a mishmash of lines and circles and squiggly bits, which isn't always entirely helpful. But that part's really light. I feel like that carries on all the way across though, and everything's painted on the top. Again, I'm just guessing at this point. I'm purely on guesswork. All the way along to the big jaggy bush. Not to be confused with the big bushy bush, it's a jaggy bush. I don't even need to bother about keeping my paint strokes in the right direction for this part either. See, most of it's likely going to be obscured by the time I'm finished, so... And I've got the dark. I was like, there's a dark bit in there, but I've got the dark bit in already. Already done it. That must have been in my last escapade. Okay, so now I instantly feel better because I have this band to work on and I can jump between the sections while each section dries. And it also closes off a bit more of the image here. You know, take away from that sort of overwhelm of all these like random shapes and things. So that like doing this is really, really helpful. Even though it's difficult to get started, once you kind of get going, you're like, right, okay. Daria's been asked to rate... Daria, when did you come in? Hi, Daria. I can seem to be missing everybody today. You've been asked to rate things that you haven't received yet. Oh, for goodness sake. Thea says, I hate it when people give 1 star and comment, haven't unpacked or used the item yet. I hate it when people do that and they say, wrong item arrived. Like, well, what are you doing then? Oh dear. People are stupid. People are stupid. Right, how are we doing? Things are not drying quickly today either, which this is like not helpful. It isn't particularly warm in the cave. I had the heating on for a wee while this morning, but the house got really, really hot and I've not had it back on since. Definitely affecting things here. Jock's starting to snore now. He's finally settled down and he's only really done that in the last like 3 or 4 minutes, but he's starting to snore now. His ears twitching as well. Poor boy. Okay, I really can't do anything else with this just now because it's wet, and I'm thinking to myself, right, where the heck am I going to go from here? I should maybe come down the bottom here and try and put this part again, which just seems to be non-existent. But I've got the right mix of colours for this just now, so that's probably a good shout. Okay. I feel like this is a mixture of like the raw sienna and closer to that chocolate brown, especially around the outside. So I'm going to go with the chocolate brown first. And again, I'll paint these, like these fronds, love that word, over the top of this. So let's get dabbing. I've just realised I've put that in, there's a tiny sliver of green along the bottom there, and I've put that in to remind me that that's my point to work from, to like push like the blades of grass up the way. I love it when I leave wee notes to myself like that. It's like, by the way, just for future reference, because we know it's going to be a decade before you come back to this. That's something I didn't do this year, just talking about leaving notes to yourself. When I pack away all my Christmas decorations, I write myself a note for next year, and I didn't do it this time. And I'm sorely tempted to do it and go back up the loft and put it in, because I'll not have a clue what's going on next Christmas if I don't. Again, there is absolutely no resemblance here to anything. Oh lordy, that dark part stops just to the right of that. That's really far over. Okay, I'm going to go about there. There's no indicator for this at all. Like, at all. At all, at all. So I'm going to go about there. Now I remember why I only do tiny bits of this at a time. It's not even the same shape. This has water in front of it as well. Okay. So that puddle starts there, and that puddle, the top of that puddle's like almost in the middle. Oh yeah, okay, right, okay, maybe I've kind of got it right. So there'll be this part at the very bottom here will be partially covered up by this. Good grief, talk about challenging oneself. I was really hoping to get into a bit of detail work, but it's like we're nearly at time already, and none of this is going to be dry in time to do anything. I keep like trying to touch it. This wee section is okay. We'll attack this little lime green section and make it look. I was about to say make it look pretty. I don't even know if that's possible right now, but we're going to make it a bit more sensible. I'm actually going to squeeze out some of the seaweed colour for this though, because I need to start with a bit of precision. I can't just be slopping stuff about out the tube. Bus has just snagged me. As you can see, my laptop was online, so I've had to swap to my personal one. Good morning from a Texan that delivers rural mail in southwest Kansas. Awesome. Hello, just me. I'm afraid you're a wee bit late if you've not been lurking. I'm just about to finish up, but I really appreciate you coming in if you have just popped in. Okay, right, let's try and make some sense of all of this. So we want to have a section here. That comes up and round and meets our sienna colour. And then that's going to come up here. So there's a curve. The actual curve is, believe it or not, is actually on the line work. I'll die of shock. And I'm going to grab some ochre here as well. The colour that's showing up here on the actual painting is lighter than ochre, but just because I've got this lime green underneath, I'm going to use this as a starting point, and then if I need to go yellow ochre, which I clearly am, then I can go for it. Try and blend that out a little bit. And there's blue in here as well. There's blue. Oh, I'm going to have to... Oh. Okay. I'm really upset about this Arteza blue because I really like it, and I know when I put it into one of these little tubs, it doesn't necessarily keep. It doesn't take much air to get into, like, ruin things, so I'm a bit bummed about that, honestly. See, there's even some down in here as well that you don't notice until you start to squint at it, like, real close. I don't know whether it's supposed to just be, like, tying in with everything else that's going on, or, you know, I don't know. But it's there. I kind of want to mix a bit of yellow ochre with this lime green just to see what happens. It's actually getting me somewhere near. That's hilarious. Ah, love it when that happens. Lime green and yellow ochre makes... I don't know what this colour is, but it's the colour that I need. It's Monet colour. Good to... I need to write that one down. Lime green is not a colour I mix with things very often. Oh, jeez. How are we doing here? Are we dry here, sort of? It's not moving very well, though. That's the only thing. And I don't want to dilute it with water, but I don't have much choice here because it's starting to dry out. Get a damp brush. Might even need to get a liner brush in here. That's the only thing though, when you're using a liner, your paint consistency has to be just absolutely spot on, or else you end up in a world of hurt as well. Yeah, I'm going to have to build that up. I'm actually going to write this down because I will forget like what colours I've mixed together. Taking a lot of notes today. So that was Arteza Lime Green. And the Winsor & Newton Yellow Ochre. Note to self. Oh, Black Rose has got a cold. Aw. Everybody's not well again. I'm feeling like reasonably well, apart from not sleeping. But there's a lot of stuff going round just now. Not convinced that that's all that accurate there and there, but I'm thinking I'll take it. Right, guys, I'm going to stop there. It's just after 5 now. This is, you know, that looks as if we've not done anything, but this is a substantial amount of work under these conditions. Like, it really is. It's just got to be done a step at a time. But see, now that I've like sort of deciphered that section, obviously the next time I come back, all of this will be dry and I can just go for it and get everything in where we need to. So that's pretty good. Oh, right, okay. Oh, I've got a little bit of a sore back now as well because I've been stooped over. Okay, right, so I want to thank you all very much for coming in today. As I say, there will be a video up at the weekend, and the Holbein, no, not the Holbein, the Schminke watercolour, the little baby watercolour tubes, I'll stick them in the shop the day that the video comes out if anybody would like to grab them. I definitely don't need any more watercolour, I'm good. And somebody can snaffle that, and I hope you enjoy the video at the weekend as well. I'll be putting up the live streams for February nearer the end of the month. It's a wee bit early just now, so you can keep your eyes peeled for that as well. Other than that, that's about it really, isn't it? You're very welcome. That's kind of what I'm here to do. Oh, the pink under hands as well. Yay! It was nice to see there was quite a lot of people in today that we don't normally see, so thanks very much for coming in. It's always lovely to see the names popping back up that we haven't seen for a wee while. I'm going to go away and tidy up my 81 odd tubes of gouache now and try and rescue this pale blue. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, people, and we'll see you back in the cave really soon. See you all later. Thank you.